So today I'm gonna be doing some testing with the 223. My brother gave me a box of their 75 grain Hornady ELDs. His older Savage has a 1 in 9 twist, and it wouldn't really stabilize the bullets, so he gave them to me. My newer 12 FV is a 1 in 8, so I'm gonna load up just a few to see if that rifle will stabilize these things. So I've got a nice new box of 100 pieces of Starline brass. We're going to go ahead and get these things full length size just for the first time. We'll obviously next size after we get them fire formed. But we'll get these full length size. I'll go dump them in the tumbler, get all the lube off of them. We will decide on a powder, and we will probably load up 10 using the Satterlee load test, or ladder test. Anyway, let's get these things sized and get going. Today I'm going to be using what's like a dry mica powder in a nylon brush. That just lubricates the inside of the case neck. Kind of smooths out, running the expander ball back out through the brass, so you don't have to use the real sticky gummy lube inside the case. Okay, so the brass has been full length sized. It is in the tumbler, getting all the lube off of them. So today we're going to be using the, as mentioned, 75 grain Hornady ELDs in conjunction with some Federal gold medal match small rifle primers. And I've decided to go ahead and give a try H4895. There's a lot of other powders that'll work just as well, but I've got a lot of this stuff, and it looks like it gives some of the higher velocities and decent pressure, so that's what we'll be using today. Okay, so seeing how that I have never loaded these 75 grain ELDs in my 223 before, I'm going to show you guys the tools I use to kind of give you a good baseline for where to set your overall length for the cartridge. So this Hornady overall case length gauge, along with a modified case depending on whatever caliber you're loading, these things are pretty slick. So the piece of brass has just been drilled out, tapped, threads right onto the end of this guy, and you just slide a bullet of your choice down into the case, insert this into the breech of the rifle, and you run it up, and the bullet stops where the riflings are, and you can pull the whole thing out, throw your calipers on there along with a comparator. So don't measure from the tip of the bullet. Do yourself a favor, spend the 20 bucks, get the Hornady bullet comparator kit. Measures everything off the ogive of the bullet. So anyway, that'll tell you exactly where your particular bullet touches the lands. And from there, you can either load them up as jammed, or you can bag them off 5, 10, 15, 20 thousandths, whatever your rifle likes best. So Hornady products, look into them. So the rifle we're loading for is another one of my Savage 12 FVs, Cabela's Special. These things are pretty sweet rifles. I mean, you get a 26-inch heavy barrel, AccuTrigger. These things are tack drivers. I've pitched the factory stocks and kind of opted for the aftermarket Boyd stock. No, that's not a Vortex scope on there. It's unfortunately a inexpensive Cabela's brand scope that I need to replace. I'll probably put an SWFA on this one as well. Okay, we've got our modified case set up on the tool. We've got a bullet inserted. Let's go ahead and figure out where these things want to be seated. So that's ran out to where the bullet just touches the rifling. So you might want to run this in the rifle 2 or 3 times. Take a few measurements, make sure you got it right. It can kind of move around on you a little bit, but it works pretty well. Gonna wiggle that around a little bit. 1.881. So that's touching the lands. We'll adjust from there. We might seat them back 10 to 15 thousandths off the lands. Okay, brass is out of the tumbler. It's all cleaned up. Let's get this stuff primed up. Okay, our brass is now primed with our Federal Match primers, and something I like to do with new brass, we're just going to go ahead and give a light chamfer on the inside of the case mouth, just so we're not scraping any copper jacket off of the bullets. Okay, all the case mounts have been chamfered, so let's go ahead and get some powder in these guys. Okay, so the latest Hornady manual shows a maximum charge of H4895 at 23.3 grains with the 75 grain ELD bullet. So we're going to do a Satterlee load test. We're going to load 10 rounds starting at 21.5 grains and ending up at 23.3 grains, doing 0.2 of a grain increment. So we'll get these loaded up, get out to the range, get some good chronograph numbers, find that nice flat spot. This has worked for me and my brother in the past. Every time we've tried it, and you just get nice, nice tight groups at 100 yards, good extreme spreads, standard deviations. So we'll go ahead and get these loaded up, and then we'll get the bullets seated on. Okay, so I didn't want to bore you guys with charging these cases. You know, they're all 0.2 apart. Got them all labeled so we can keep track of them when we're out there firing them. I just got done setting up the Forster Ultra Micrometer seating die, so we are seating these to exactly 1.875 inches off of the ogive. Alright, let's get these bullets seated and we'll be done for today. Alright, that's that. So we'll get out as soon as we can, shoot these things, try to find that nice flat spot in the velocities. That'll give us our node where we want to get these things loaded up to, and we'll load up a box of them, see how they shoot.